There must be some kind of way out of here.
Said the Japanese fisherman to his government.
There's too much confusion.
The nuclear pressure can't release. Oh, yes, it can. Welcome to the show that's the lighter side of genocide. We may all be doomed, but at least we can't have to be gloomy about it. You know? For goodness sake. There's people on the other side of the world from you, even on the direct opposite side of the world, as currently it's 12:09 p.m. in New Zealand, and it is 12:01 a.m. in the UK, where my fabulous guest, Patrick Lynch, joins me now. Patrick, welcome to the Vinny Eastwood Show. I'd love to get your sort of background. Could you give us a little bit of a breakdown about who you are and what you've been doing on radio for the past couple of years?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here, Vinny. Thanks for the invitation, by the way. For about 3 years, I had a chat room and I was playing videos, and there was a chat room and webcams, and people discussed what was happening, and that's where I got the full picture of what was happening. I decided to start my own chat room and play videos and things. And eventually I got a little radio slot on TNS radio in Ireland. And we parted company, and now I'm with the Changing Times Radio. And for about 3 years, pretty much 24 hours, I've been battling away, chiseling away at the New World Order block. I'm a landscaper by trade. I'm not working at the moment. I'm just devoting myself to this. Hopefully the people from the job centre aren't listening. Otherwise, because I haven't prepared it. So I take my money from the New World Order and I use it against them. It's nice. But,
well, you know, that's the best way to do it, man. You know,
yeah, I've just been spreading the word as much as I can, and it's amazing the feedback you get, and it's amazing the amount of feedback you don't get. But just now and again, somebody will say, I saw your piece, I heard your piece about the vaccines. I'm not going to vaccinate my child. I am going to eat more organic food. Now you mentioned the GMO threat. And I didn't notice them big crosses in the sky. Cheers. So that makes it all worthwhile, you know?
Yeah. A lot of people are questioning stuff as they walk around, and they kind of think that the things aren't quite right, and they can't figure them out until somebody points out, that's what this is. So that's the whole point of getting engaged in media with this type of talk, because, hey, people really need it.
They do, and there's a glut of information out there. There's a glut of disinformation out there. Paid alcoholics and drug addicts who just sit there and troll all day, you know. And they're very successful at splitting up online communities that are desperate to form some kind of nucleus to be able to hit the streets with and organise themselves properly. Lawful rebellion and free man kind of topics have been big in the last few years, and they've provided some solutions in regard to common law and how powerful that can be, how it can empower you. But ultimately, you still have to face them in court in their satanic kind of cult of Saturn court system. Now, England, I'm talking from the English perspective here. I'm of Irish descent. I've got family in New Zealand, by the way, in the Cook Islands and Auckland, I think. And Melbourne, actually, as well, Australia. So that part of the world does interest me and worry me a lot. I do take a great interest in your part of the world, especially because I have family there. But I'm in the centre of the New World Order here, and I'm desperate to get out. Somebody help! Give me a canoe or something! I'm 50 miles away from the Queen of England, for God's sake. The Saxe-Coburg, Gotha, Merovingian tart.
They say you can smell her before you can see her.
I wouldn't know. My lizard tongue's not quite up to shape at the moment. By the way, just for the record, I don't do lizards and I don't do aliens, and it's a bunch of nutty, psychopathic gangsters that run the planet, and not somebody from Planet Pop-Tart. So I'd get that out there. But I'm in the centre of the New World Order, and I went to the Royal Institute of International Affairs. I knocked on their door. There was nobody there. was literally a stone's throw away from the Queen of England, and we know they set the policy. It's Royal Institute of International Affairs, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, blah, blah, blah. We know who runs the planet. It's the bankers. So I'm not interested in the left-right paradigm, but people in England are more asleep, I've noticed, than any other country on the planet. We have the most cameras here. We have high street wardens, okay? We even have teachers confiscating your mobile phone, your cell phone, and deleting things on it that might be whatever. And it's a total police state. We have community support officers. We have a nice little militia going here, a nice little neo-Nazi militia being built up to deal with any problems. We had the big march in London. There was 500,000 people, and the provocs, I call them, the agents provocateurs, were out in force in good numbers, being anarchistic and controlled opposition. It was pathetic. There was an 80-year-old man punched in the face, knocked to the ground. That didn't get on the mainstream media, which is owned and controlled by the bankers. Same people that are robbing and raping everyone as we speak. So I'm in the centre of it, and I'm very surprised I haven't got a knock on the door myself yet. What about you?
Oh, well, you know, I can't wait for the day that black men, that men in black uniforms knock on my door, because I'll have my camera out, lickety split, and I'll film them beating the crapola out of me, and then it'll simultaneously get me out of whatever charges that I'm on, and also really be used as a great way to demonise the police cracking down on activists and media profiles that question the establishment. Ba-boom. I should be so lucky.
Vinny, it's all very well being hard and tough against these fellas, but the main...
No. I'll go down like a lump noodle.
The main question is, I mean, what are you going to wear? Red and black, you know, you're always on a winner already, aren't you? The blood and the black uniforms, it's colour coordination, isn't it? I mean, you've got to look good when you're fighting tyranny, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you have a nice press suit, like if you're like, you know, Agent Smith in the Matrix kind of thing, you know, like these big dudes in heavy equipment come through the door trying to kill you or something like that, and you just gracefully beat the crap out of them and leave them all lying on the floor and stuff like that, and go and pull out your kung fu.
I've just had a funny thought. Can you imagine if we were in Nazi Europe now, sort of chatting, and we developed our own little radio station? You would invite me on as a guest, and, you know, the Nazis are listening in, thinking, well, it's about time we pull the plug on these guys. You know, it feels like that. Oh, yeah.
They'd probably dress up as Polish troops and come and try and shut us down.
Burn down their own... Yeah. Burn down their own Rupert Murdoch office or something.
Yeah. And then blame it on these two communist terrorists who are on the airwaves.
The boogeyman would be bin Nazi or something.
Yeah. Osama bin Nazi, and he was arrested alongside Osama bin Muslim.
Who are these guys? This George Soros character. He used to collect Jewish people from their homes 60 years ago and stick them on trucks and deal with all their belongings and stuff. And now he's funding every kind of hit operation in the media going, and he's funding Eastern European revolutions, and half of the revolutions going on, or so-called revolutions, popular uprisings, that's a Masonic note, in North Africa. I mean, who are these people? Who are these creeps? Where do they come from? Are they bred specially? I think they are, for the purpose. Well, they're old men.
Well, you know, it's a funny thing. You grow old by the definitions you've set for yourself while you're young. Okay, now these guys have set the definition that life for other people has no real value. They just need to protect themselves and collect as much wealth and power as humanly possible, right? Whereas you or I, for example, while we were young, we figured out that those people are doing it, and they're acting like predators towards everybody, and they must be stopped by any means necessary.
It is a predator class, yeah.
And it has produced two very different, distinct groups of individuals: those who want to enslave and those who will not be enslaved. Right? So everything in the universe, I reckon, you know, like physics says, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. We are a natural progressive cycle of the criminal elite. Okay? anybody who tries to screw over the planet will naturally have many forms of resistance poking out of the freaking woodwork. You know, and this is what I find. There's so many people waking up everywhere. It's going absolutely nuts out there. People are thirsting, lusting for the truth. They're lusting to have a crack at the very dark hand that ensnares them.
It is encouraging to see. They've spent billions and trillions on mind control and media manipulation of our species, dumbing us down, so we lose our very survival instincts, and still we rise and rise and rise.
Well, you can't stop a force whose time has come.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. And this is what makes the New World Order now very dangerous, though, because they see this awakening, they see this uprising, and they are now very scared that, hey, they might actually lose it. The plan that they've had set in motion for a long, long time, decades at the minimum, has culminated now in a sort of, take them all out and shoot them type of mentality where eugenics operations are being implemented all simultaneously to screw everybody up right at the same time. And they're just going to waltz onto their little underground bases, which they've stocked over the last couple of years with copious quantities of freeze-dried food and able to support a couple of million people worldwide for a number of years. So they'll just hide down there while everything goes to crap up here? Is that the plan?
Good luck with that. It's a bunker mentality, isn't it? I feel a bit like that myself sometimes. But I wouldn't like to be in these so-called think tank shoes right now, because Rockefeller must at some point say, hold on a second, we've spent all this money, you're fired, and we're going to shoot you, you're rubbish. Because how come all these people are waking up if your science of mass manipulation is so good? It obviously isn't. They're trying to cover. I've studied them like yourself. Know your enemy. It's a good adage. I've studied their psychopathic nature themselves. Bertrand Russell, Aldous Huxley, they write books on it. It's all there to see. And how they breed. Bertrand Russell, Quigley, the Huxley brothers, both eugenicists, they were literally, and I mean literally, bred for the purpose. And so they're some of the most brilliant, illuminated minds on the planet of their time, and they're still around today. They're in the think tanks. But their job is to cover every variable so they can hang on to their power. They haven't covered every variable. That's why they're scared. They're control freaks. Quintessentially, they are control freaks, and they're losing control because we're coming at them big time. And I talk about real radio. You know what I mean? It's exciting when I think about it. Like, whoa! I feel like I've just been let out of detention. We haven't even begun to shake the bars of our cage yet, and when we do, they'll just disintegrate.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Oh,
Every
wow!
day I wake up, I'm like, what can I do now?
And not everybody can speak like we do, like on the radio, with all the fervor and passion, And sometimes it requires a lot of training and experience in the keys, as we both are. But just remember, as long as you just decide to start doing it and you keep doing it, you'll get better and better and better, and eventually you'll make something happen. It's impossible to keep working at something and have nothing happen. It's impossible.
I'm just reading what you said there. Maybe we should add another definition to government in Wikipedia. Noun, a criminal organisation that thirsts for total dominance over all life within its sphere of influence. Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't mean to be cynical, but...
I am, yeah. I say that. I don't mean to be a cynic, but I am.
Yeah,
well, you've got to be. Apparently there's 3 stages in life. You're an idealist, and then you're a cynic, and in old age you're a philosopher. Well, I think I'll just get stuck at cynic and just carry on fighting,
Well, it's sane to be optimistic when you're young. It's strange to be optimistic when you're middle-aged. And it's insane to be optimistic when you're old. You know, and this is, I love my own sense of humor a lot because, hey, it bats away all the oppression and all the nastiness around me, and it's just kind of evaporates. Yeah. You know, it's like a shield of protection or something. Ha! You can't hurt me. I've got a righteous cackle.
Like a mad video game. We're on the biggest level so far, and we've just tucked into the extra level there, the extra level.
Yeah. What I find strange is when
cloak of doom and gloom.
The Temple of Doom and Gloom. Yeah.
We have the Zoom on Doom and Gloom.
Oh, we've cornered the room on Doom and Gloom, man.
But it is refreshing. I can't believe I found you. I can't remember how I found you. It must have been on YouTube or something. I think somebody sent me your video of the conspiracy rant, you know, which was superb. And it's refreshing to hear someone like yourself, very knowledgeable and eloquent, with a good sense of humour.
And well, that's the thing that really, it's the thing that defines me in radio. I think, you know, you're supposed to play with your strengths and go with what you're familiar with. And there's no rules on American Freedom Radio, save one. You have to have fun. Okay?
Oh.
And that's
go
ahead.
Fun I can do fun. Funny I can do.
Yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinny Eastwood Show. We have the Godfather all the way from the UK. His name is Patrick Lynch. And boy, does he have a deal for you. We have 1945 Tommy guns with real barrels of ammunition ready to ship out to you. Straight gangster, courtesy of a stockpile that he has in his garage.
The Honourable Lord Don.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ireland is under the same terrorist New World Order threat as we are, and I've spent a lot of time speaking to the people back home. I call it home because my mother was from there, and they're under the same tyranny. I mean, but they have 75% of their water supply fluoridated, medicated. In England, we don't. The next county to me, Hampshire, I'm in Dorset on the south coast, a judge passed a rule, yeah, we can put fluoride in the water, it's fine. But Ireland is 5% fluoridated. So if you're wondering why the Irish haven't risen up yet, that's probably why.
Oh, yeah. You're listening to the Vinny Eastwood Show. My very special guest is Patrick Lynch, coming at us from the realm of the Queen.
She's not the Queen.
And it is dark, and the very air you breathe is acrid smoke. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinny Eastwood Show on AmericanFreedomRadio.com and incidentally the VinnyEastwoodShow.com. Proudly brought to you by GuerrillaMedia.co.nz, New Zealand's unconventional news. Thank you very much for listening to the lighter side of genocide. I'm sure that it helps with your heart palpitations that you get as a result of your country being overtaken by scumbags.
Where are they?
Oh my God. It's so terrible. Hey, is the census happening where you are as well, Patrick?
It is. I had a nice visit the other day. I was sitting in the sunshine and this lady came up to me and said, have you filled in your census form? No. Did you get your census form? No. Will you be filling it in? No. Oh, I must remind you, it's a legal requirement. I said, no, it isn't. Oh, it is a legal requirement. Actually, no, it isn't. There's no law. It's just a statute. This is a criminal government, and I'm sovereign, and the criminal government has no jurisdiction over me. Oh, well, I can guarantee that somebody will visit your address. I said, they're most welcome, but I'm not going to do the census. I said, it's the same system that set up and collates all your information that existed in Nazi Europe. Where are you from? She said, I'm from Finland. And then I remembered the Finns were Nazi collaborators.
Well, actually, weren't they invaded by Russia? And then after Russia invaded them, they got invaded by the Germans. It was something like that. I forget which country it was. I think it might have been Norway, actually. Yeah, it was Norway. The Germans and the Russians were working together at the start of the war to try and take out Scandinavia and everything. And this is the thing. We wind up being enemies afterwards and enemies during and friends all at the same time, and it mixes up everything. But the reality of the fact is every single faction in the freaking Second World War was funded by the elite.
I listened to Alan Watt a lot, and I unfortunately broke my shoulder last January. So I was laid up for quite a few months, and I've just listened to Alan Watt, his old shows, and so I've been absorbing a lot of real history, from a real expert. And what I learnt was that things that I held dear, that I cried about because I was happy, like Nelson Mandela coming out, or the fall of the Berlin Wall, was all just part of the program. Europe had to be, Germany had to be. Go through reunification to bring in this new world order, European Union, which was set up by the Nazis. Everything had to move into a new system. That's why it was taken down. It wasn't the people that really brought that down. That's quite sad. And Gorbachev said, we're moving into a new world order, but it'll be kind of atheism kind of new world order. And Gorbachev was another one of my heroes, and Lech Walesa from Poland. I was like, oh, God, the list goes on. So you learn that the Cold War was also staged to keep us in fear for a good length of time until this European Union really kicked off. And it was the merging of the two systems, the kind of the fascism and the socialism. And it would be an extended version of socialism. Apparently the elite, they pride themselves on the collectivist model. They love the Marxists, So we're being brought into a Soviet world system now. So it is disappointing. So whenever I hear of a new uprising there or a new popular rebellion there, I'm naturally skeptical, thankfully. And that is truly waking up, understanding the historical perspective from 4,000 years,
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between being skeptical and being cynical, okay? Maybe we're skeptical because we're cynical, but there's a difference.
Well, we're used to being lied to now. Everything you see on the news, you sit there with your arms folded, like, what mush are they going to spurt out now? It's a fascinating kind of study in some cases. The BBC is a complete arm of the government, and I'm pissed off about that. Because I used to hold them in high esteem for their independence. What a mug!
These people are like cartoon fumbling characters. They're like freaking Mr. Magoo at best, but they're like Mr. Magoo that's also like Mac the freaking knife. Like, they got a dagger concealed. They're going to stab you up and like leave you to ooze and blood and bleed out in the cold dark street like freaking Jack the Ripper.
But he was a Mason as well.
The coincidence theorists.
Coincidence theorists. Yeah. These guys who sit on the BBC and spurt out your rubbish for you. They're actually intelligence guys.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the media like there in New Zealand? I mean, is it all
exactly the same? Exactly the same. It's the producers. There's a Canadian producer who's employed by some intelligence agency. I haven't figured out which yet. To control the content that comes out of Television New Zealand studios. There's many show ideas and concepts for shows that have been brought forth by people that I know to the presenters and such like that, and they've all been cut off by this woman. All right, so it does go on. The intelligence agencies are in control of the media. Why do you think all this stuff has been kept secret for so long?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an incredible system, It's an incredible system, just how deep it goes. How it completely controls every facet of anything we may be exposed to. I do watch Hollywood films now, but I watch it from the viewpoint of what are they trying to program people with, I mean, Lindsay Williams, who's on the Alex Jones show all the time, I run the FreeTruth Show, by the way, on These Changing Times Radio. Shameless plug, thank you. When Lindsay Williams talks about the elite having a long-term plan, and it gives you an idea just how deep this rabbit hole goes and how much of a grasp they have on every facet of what we're exposed to. You really have to study these war films coming out. Lindsay Williams talked about the war films that are coming out in the next couple of years. He said that last year. And this Battlefield Los Angeles crap. I mean, I had to sit through that, man. But it's alien programming. It's false flag.
They're preparing people.
They're preparing for that. Project Bluebeam. Mm-hmm. And apparently that's quite a touchy one to go too deeply into, Project Bluebeam, which makes me even more curious. A lot of people have suffered and disappeared just talking about that. I think that's the big one, and I'd like to make a prediction now on your show that they're going to try and pull something at the 2020 Olympics in London.
2020 Olympics? You think the human race is still going to be around by then?
Sorry, 2012 Olympics.
2012 Olympics. Hey, now that sounds exactly like what a New World Order scumbag would do, because there's the nice symbolism of the torch, which was a Nazi tradition, being lit, and then at that very moment, an alien craft comes down, and everybody goes, "Oh my goodness, there's aliens," and such. When really, it's just a classified design or something that nobody's seen before, and they just assume that it's alien because they've never seen anything like it before. And then they come down, they say, "Well, yeah. Now that we're all just a humanity and there's aliens out there, we need a world government." Oh wait, who's our representative? Oh yeah, that's right. It's that physicist chick from Malaysia that the UN appointed as the alien ambassador. Great. And also,
they've got to be nasty, right? So they can unite humanity and look good. It's the pièce de, that would be the pièce de résistance, problem, reaction, solution. They've got to be nasty, guys, so Obama can save the world or something,
Well, apparently somebody called Rick Clay predicted that as well. What you just said.
What, 2012 Olympics?
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm not aware of that guy, but I've just got...
Hey, well, and this just comes to a point...
You kind of sniff about things, don't you? That keeps coming back to me,
Well, that was the point...
Have you seen the sign for the Olympics? You tip it up and down, chuck it around, it says Zion. I mean, it's a joke.
Zion from the Olympics? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Olympic symbol for the 2012 Olympics. If you check it out, shuffle the letters around, it spells Zion.
How very strange.
But I don't personally believe Zionists and Jews run the world. I think they're a bunch of satanic, Luciferian gobshites, and I don't believe in the devil. But these guys do, and that's how they control their minions below them, or just below the capstone in the pyramid.
I am blessed by the power of Lucifer, and you will serve me, and you will eat small children with a knife and fork.
Well, actually, they do. I'm sure they do. I know about these satanic scumbags. In England, for example, there was Holly Greig. She was 14 when she eventually came out and said, my dad's been raping me, and so are the judges and the social workers and the doctors, the lawyers, and this. Yeah. And it goes right to the British cabinet. Gordon Brown is on record, well known in all three intelligence services, Israel, Mossad, MI6, MI5, and US intelligence, well known to be a practicing paedophile. Kissinger too. This is the root of them. This is who we're dealing with. I'm sorry.
Not to do a gross pun or anything, but this is the root of it.
Right, I just got that. Yeah.
That's really bad. I'm sorry, man. I saw it. Like the elite, I saw an opportunity and I just went for it. All right, sorry, go ahead.
You create an opportunity out of a crisis, wouldn't you? I understand that.
yeah. I'm an Emmanuel citizen.
But these guys run satanic paedophile rings like you wouldn't imagine, and it goes right to the heart of cabinet. And it was all due to come out, and they put a 100-year block on it. When you get these school shootings in Scotland, He procured children for businessmen and MPs and things. It was all Masonic and just disgusting, you know. These guys, I mean, I don't personally believe in the death penalty, but it's like, you know. But that makes me a racist terrorist, obviously, because I'm criticising the government, you know.
Oh, yeah, well, it's my bad, really. I apologise if I appear insensitive, but I have had quite a few people on this show who have had their children kidnapped by Child Protective Services and sexually assaulted and things of this nature. And they're used... Yeah, they're used as a way to basically provide a nice supply of fresh meat to the underpants of powerful individuals, in a nutshell, if you pardon the pun.
You've done it again, haven't you? But it is laughable. You have to laugh at it because it's so sick. But getting back to the alien thing, as I say, I don't believe aliens run the planet. It's a massive, massive distraction. And some people, have you noticed, get really offended when you don't believe in aliens? Oh, what are you? You know, and they're so pulled into this. Be wary of any technology that claims to be from another world or anyone writing about this stuff, because they add on the alien agenda. They give you lots of truths, and there are public figures out there that we know very well in the truth movement that add on the alien agenda. And they're told early on, you'll be a best-selling author, you'll be this, you'll be that, just add on. You can say whatever you like. You can help people. You'll still be helping people to wake up. Just talk about the aliens and we'll give you a free rein. That's the way it works. It's a control mechanism, a distraction, a big one. That's big money too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Child trafficking, human trafficking, you bet it goes on, and you bet that it exists at the highest levels. And if you do something in Parliament that's very, very naughty, or if you question the authenticity of a weapons portfolio, perhaps, and suddenly get found dead in a field miles from anywhere, oh, it was just suicide. Nothing happened to them. No. You're listening to the Vinny Eastwood Show on AmericanFreedomRadio.com, and incidentally, the VinnyEastwoodShow.com, proudly brought to you in collaboration with GuerrillaMedia.co.nz. And we'll be right back.